Continuing August as Brooklyn Brewery Month with our East India Pale Ale from Brooklyn Brewery. Brooklyn has quickly become a favorite of ours for multiple reasons. Number one, the events that we've gone to are delicious and they're really nice. Today we're doing East India Pale Ale with an ABV of 6.8. Gordon, would you like to discuss the hops in it?
Was it East Golden Kent hops? Sort of like British style hops, like the original type of hops that they would use in an East India Pale Ale, which there's a Beer Friend article about that one of us here wrote about the origins of the India Pale Ale. Yeah, what do we think about this one? It's interesting.
Never had it.
No, actually, I don't think I've ever had the East India Pale Ale.
Oh, really?
I've only had it once.
I've had a bunch. I've definitely got
It's
a couple,
sweeter.
6 packs of these.
That's what's weird, is it's sweeter. It's sweeter than you would expect.
I would also say, though, drier.
Yeah.
Dry.
It's
Yeah,
a very dry
taste to
ending.
it.
Yeah, the ending is very dry.
And this, going with adjectives, I'd say mellower. Pretty mellow. It's chill. I like it. It's not as hoppy as I'd expect. You know, you get used to such hoppy IPAs when you're drinking craft beer, and everybody seems to get to a point where everybody's trying to out-hop each other. And this came out. I had never had this before this summer. This is the first time I had this, so I believe this is a newer beverage. And I think they just kind of tried to make a good, you know, little slight hoppier pale ale, which is exactly what an IPA is, and not go bananas. Not over hop like a beer that I love, but Ithaca's Flower Power. It's got 5 sets of hops in it, 3 of them dry hop. It's like it's something, a flavor I really like, but it's really over the top. And this is a lot more mellow. This is a lot more mellow than you would.
That is true.
Than
It's,
you get
it's
to.
maltier than any of the other ones. I mean, it's good. You know, but for me, if I'm going to drink a pale ale, this is good. I don't mind it. It's mid-range in the India Pale Ales. But I prefer just a straight India Pale Ale, not the East India Pale. You know,
I can see that.
well, because I'm a hops guy. Because I like the hops flavor.
Well, being that
this
this
malty
being-
for me for this classification.
So you're saying you would rather not have a traditional one? You would rather have a little bit more of an American creativity kind of one?
Right. Like if somebody said, I'm going to pick up an IPA, I would rather them grab an like Flower Power or something, or the Magic Hat or whatever, and not the East India.
Oh, I agree with you, definitely.
But I wouldn't turn this down.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I think that what they did with this is just make a beer that was completely traditionally true to the style.
We're going to rate this. I'm going to give this a 6.75.
Nice.
I really enjoy most of what Brooklyn does. The only thing, I would say that this is on the lower end of their beers for me. I like the plainness that they have in the lager. I really like the pale ale the pennant ale for what it does. I like the Blast, the Manhattan Project, all of their hard to find beers and their local one. This is probably the lowest on my scale, but I think it's a good beer. That's why I'm giving it a 6.75.
Nice. I'm going to go with you a little bit on there and say that just because I've had so much exceptional Brooklyn beer that this is good. I think it's true to the style. I like it how Brooklyn a lot of times will tend to be very traditional with their styles. And this one doesn't quite fulfill what I expect from Brooklyn, but I like the tradition. So I'll give it a 6.75.
It's weird. I guess.
You sheep.
I'll give it a 6.76.
The rating is sort of moot because I was going to give it a 7, but the real rating is that I really like this beer, and I've picked this up a few times, and this is now becoming, for me this summer, I think I've bought this as a 6-pack 3 times to put in my fridge and have at home. This is becoming a more consistent beer in my fridge at home. I really like it. It's not overpowering, it's not crazy. I really like it. It's just a nice, solid IPA that I really enjoy.
No, I'm kind of with Paul. This is a good introductory beer to India Pale Ales. Because it's not as severe and hoppy as you get into it.
And it's specifically in the bottle a little easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get that malty taste. So if you're trying to get somebody who's interested in kind of what is an India Pale Ale? What is this? Actually, if I was going to give somebody a beer that have never had an IPA before, this might be the first one that I would give them, and then get them into something like Flower Power or something along those lines, because it's more gradual up into the hops flavor, right?
So this is an IPA with training wheels.
I'm gonna give it a 6. 79.
Oh, beer friends.